We prepped all the chains in the basement just for you.
Oh.
Yeah. No, those are Michael's chains.
Oh.
Can we start it on that? We're gonna start on that. I want it out of context stuff. Okay, so welcome to the podcast. This is number 10. We've done 10 of these now.
Yes.
Ooh,
2
10.
digits.
It's been a
Yes.
while.
Yeah, well, we had a little bit of a break there because some other stuff that came up. But thank you for the podcast. This is where we answer some stupid questions, give some stupid answers, and redefine what it means to think before you speak. So to start from our left here, we have
I'm John.
And I'm Kyle.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Michael.
Oh,
You actually said it.
Like,
You
right?
got it
That was
right.
right.
Holy
That's
crap.
a point. Put the ding.
Where's
Ding.
where's the
number
crowd?
2. No, it's number 2.
The right.
Oh, I was wrong.
That's-
wait, is that the ding?
No, that's the ding.
I
Where's
never
the,
once
where's
said
the
it.
crowd?
No, I'm so
We're
I'm
professionals.
so happy I got it right that I'm I am Michael the rat catcher.
Rat catcher.
Oh.
Oh no, he has murdered some rats at our place. We've had
They're mice. They're
we've had-
not rats.
yeah, no, we've had 2 mice.
3.
3?
We've had 3.
Oh yeah. I saw the one and then I left it there for you.
You saw them all and left them there. For
No,
me.
the one
Okay.
because I find it disgusting and you're like a weird person.
They're herbivores.
He has to clean it up.
He's from Kentucky. He set up the trap. It's your job.
Yeah. I asked him to, so
You do what you got to do.
You're a delegator. It's fine.
yeah, okay. So anyways, we're going to start with some stupid questions. And then the middle section, we have a little bit of a twist on trivia. And then at the end, I have some audience questions. So John, what was your question for today?
So, hypothetical, you're in your kitchen for lunch. So you have nothing else planned for the day, so you make yourself a sandwich, and then you hear a knock on the door. You go answer the door, and it's the Pope. And the Pope tells you, don't eat that sandwich. I can't tell you why, and I can't stop you from doing it, but don't eat that sandwich.
What?
The first thing is, do you eat that sandwich? And second, is there anyone who could have done the same thing? Just knocked on your door and told you, don't eat that sandwich. And with no explanation, no consequences, you would follow their recommendation.
So first of all, yes, if you're gonna about to eat that sandwich and then somebody important shows up, and mine would probably be Bill Nye the Science Guy. If he showed up to your door and he's just like, Kyle, don't eat that sandwich, I'd be like, yes, Father of Science.
Sandwich is gone.
If the Pope showed up to my front door and was like, don't eat that sandwich, I'm like, no, Pope, it's my sandwich. You can't have it. Why is the Pope trying to steal? I have to eat it faster before he gets my sandwich. He's trying to steal my sandwich.
So you don't have a lot of respect for this current Pope, do you?
Like, he's fine, but it's my sandwich, not his.
It depends. I would tell him that I will not eat the sandwich if I get to ride in the Pope Mobile around the block.
He probably did come in the Pope Mobile.
If he didn't come in the Pope Mobile, then he's an imposter.
No,
Okay.
it's true. The Pope Mobile is not in front of the
that's
house.
right.
If you can't see it from your kitchen,
Well,
then,
I mean, how do you know it's the Pope? Do you ask for his ID? No, it's the Pope Mobile.
No,
well,
it's a hat.
normally you could
It's
just
the hat.
tell the Pope by literally the person standing in front of you because they are the Pope.
Yeah,
Unless
but-
it's like Mission Impossible.
But the other thing is so if the Pope just asks you to not eat a sandwich, then apparently it's not too serious of a situation. But like, I'm pretty sure
He
that they
showed up at your house.
Well,
Yeah.
there's got to be some Pope assassins that would just come in and stop you.
No, because like from John Wick, he's not going to kill the Pope. They ask you, are you going to kill the Pope?
no.
No. The Pope has a group of assassins,
Oh,
and then he'll send
yeah,
those after
the Swiss Guard.
Wait, did
Yeah.
the Pope, are you telling me that the Pope set up the sandwich to begin with?
you.
So he can feel important?
Maybe. I mean, I'm curious. Like, is
Pope
well,
Francis was
And
never
also-
sorry, it's my son. This was a false hit.
I'm sorry, my son.
Well, there
You
was
don't
a-
understand. You weren't the worst than I thought you were.
there was a short from Mr. Show a while ago that actually kind of reminds me of that concept where the Dalai Lama died and they ended up figuring out that some just random kid in the middle of like nowhere, New Jersey was the new Dalai Lama, and they just went to his house and picked him up. He's like, I'm the Dalai Lama, sweet, and he just like disappeared for years.
That was in King of the Hill.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
they ended up
But Bobby said no.
that episode
Because he was humble. Like
Well, that and he was horny.
that episode of Mr. Show ended with the monks with the Dalai Lama facing the fat kid camp, and then it ended with a rap battle. I love that
pretty
show so much.
Oh.
She was so good.
I feel like the Pope would try to stop me from eating the sandwich just because I accidentally toasted a Jesus image in the bread or something.
So, Michael, if the Pope is a no for you,
Yeah.
Who could tell you don't eat that sandwich and you would follow or you would obey?
I guess if my mom showed up and said, "Don't eat that sandwich," I'd figure her best interests were at heart. But if she eats that sandwich, I'm gonna be so angry.
And
You're going down, old lady.
I think the only person would be if it was me with like torn up clothes that look like from the next day.
I'm you from the future. There's no time to explain. Don't eat that sandwich.
Then I might believe him. Unless it's a really good looking sandwich.
So anyone else, like the cops knock on your door, or Biden shows up.
If the cops show up on my door, I'm gonna be like,
those.
I'm just gonna yell some random amendment that they're breaking.
Yeah. I like the thought of Argo though making a sandwich, and it's basically like the sandwich from Adventure Time, where it's the perfect sandwich. You got lobster sole and everything in there, but a future you in raggedy ass clothes shows up, and you're just like, that was pretty good though. And you're like, what happened to you? And the guy's just like, do I need to explain? I look like a homeless person. You're like, but that's sandwich though.
I'm just picturing Hermes from the box episode of Futurama, where he's about to eject everyone into space. Just, no, please don't push the button.
If a future me went through all the trouble to come back into the past to stop me from eating my sandwich, my first thought was, this must be the most amazing sandwich ever. And future me wants to eat it again.
That rat bastard wants a sandwich.
You already had this sandwich. This is my sandwich now. I'm eating it.
No, don't do it. It'll bring forth the apocalypse. It was worth it.
Well, you survived.
Yeah, you're fine.
It's like at some point we've invented a time machine just to eat this sandwich again.
Yeah,
This must have been one hell of a sandwich.
It was.
that went in 100 different directions.
That was great.
So
mine is much more dreadful and existential.
So what was your question?
So my question was, and so I was actually having a conversation with my coworkers about this, and we were talking about Star Trek and how they have like the matter like recombinator thing where they make all their food and stuff out of, but they also have teleportation. And I played enough games. I played Soma. That's a good game. But the thing is, when you teleport, you are definitely not the same thing because you're being combined at a different location with different atoms. You're not the same person. Is there anything more existential, like to the human consciousness and being, than being teleported and broken down and then reconstituted later?
No, because there's so many like dystopian twists on that. Like, oh, the original copy didn't get destroyed, but a new one got created. What do we do with this original copy?
Well, okay, so
or there's the mass spamming approach where I've got to escape here. I don't care where I get teleported. So I'll get teleported 10,000 different places at the same time. Now I'm my own population.
Well, it depends.
Yeah, I like that one.
Are you specifically going off of Star Trek's?
No, I'm just saying
because there's so many different ways to interpret teleportation.
So scientifically, if we were to create teleportation, it would require us to take atoms from one place and not transport them, but transport the data to a new place and then combine them to make you in another place.
Well,
that's how it would work.
So there are three steps. First is record, just scanning, making sure you know where every atom is and every positive and negative charge. Second is destroy the original. Third is rebuild it at a third spot.
But why would you need to destroy it?
Well,
because if you don't, then it's not teleportation. It's making a second you.
But then
a copy.
But then, in an essence, you're always making a copy. You're just choosing to destroy the original.
Yes, but I mean, and along with this fact is that if you are to create a copy of yourself somewhere else, you have to have a data check or else it will fail. So technically, you exist in two places at one time before the second one or before the first one is destroyed.
Well, and if they copy all your data, how long does it take? And if they scan, say, from top to bottom, that means that the data from the top is different from the bottom. And at what part of you is you? Is it only the brain?
Well, it's data packet verification. So technically you would be all the same molecules at that same instant in time, but you would be constituted out of different atoms.
What if the teleportation was, and this is all theoretical, like wormholes work like they're theorized to work, and
Then
you could
that's-
just travel through a small Terran space.
Then that's not
That's not
teleportation.
That's not
teleportation.
teleportation.
Then
It's
that's
not?
no teleportation is the literal removement from one place and placement in another. The wormhole is just you shortening space.
Yeah, if we're doing thinking with portals, you walk through the blue one and you come up the orange one.
Mhm.
That's completely different than stand on this pad. Zip, now you're on Pluto.
Yeah.
That's
It's-
different from I'm in Pluto and Earth at the same time. Look at
Any-
me.
Any standard teleportation that involves wormholes is no longer teleportation because you're just walking a shorter distance.
So traveling through a wormhole would be preferable for most people, I imagine, because they
Yes.
would
I
still
would
be
think
themselves.
Very much
yes.
so.
Because existentially, if you kill the human consciousness has never been broken. You fall asleep with your same level of consciousness as you've always had in your entire life. If you break down every single atom in your body and then disperse it and then recombine it somewhere else, you've broken the
Well,
consciousness loop.
So here's another question with that. So like think of altered carbon when they do what do they call that?
The stacks in
No.
the back of the heads.
Well, what do they call that? Like needle casting?
Needle casting.
okay.
Where so
You're
in that
backed up in a
Yeah.
satellite.
well, no, needle casting was literally the transportation of your consciousness to another location.
Mhm.
So they would have needle cast stations that your consciousness is in a disk, and they would send that data to another location to where you could be within your same a similar body that they recreated there or another body. But is that the same?
No, Kyle, to go off your point and to make it even worse, if you can needle cast, you could patent a person.
Yes, you could.
Here's
Yes.
the perfect soldier.
Yeah.
Every time you need him, we'll just print a new one out.
Well, they never
They never did talk about the altered carbon, but that is very much a thing that could happen.
they have the bodies that you can print in there, but the consciousness they can duplicate a consciousness, but I don't think they could create a consciousness that I know of.
You would
in Altered Carbon, the TV show. No, I think in the extra they had.
Yeah, I could see it.
They had a.
An attempt at
it. I think
they
it's-
had a graphic novel or something that they.
I
they
think
published.
it is dystopian enough that they could have one guy who just signs the dotted line and yeah, we now own a patent on your consciousness, so we're just going to be printing clones of you. We're like the Mandalorian. And
Forever.
all
Couldn't
that.
they kind of do it like foxes? How they eventually bred foxes to be a pet? Couldn't you kind of do that where you put like one person's brain that is 1,000 different copies and you run them through immensely fast simulations and you eventually just take the 10 that work the best, duplicate all those, and then you keep doing that until you get the refined consciousness. So you're not
Yeah.
creating any.
an AI manipulated consciousness.
It's
that's
still a real
perfect.
person.
Yeah.
It's just that
It was a real person.
it was a real person, but now it's basically a tool.
Yeah,
So-
we keep torturing them until they do what they want or what we want.
Well,
if you haven't played Soma,
No, not even
go
about
play that
torture
game.
them, but you just put them in enough situations where it's like an AI training an AI with a real person.
at that point, well, how much of them is a computer program and how much of them is
That's the question. Is it a person who's just been manipulated by
Well-
it, like DNA?
Well, you wouldn't
Been
say
evolved, or
a
is it not a
computer-
person?
a computer program, I would say, is something that you created from scratch.
Yeah.
But this is taught or was created from scratch. I'm talking like this was a person that was born
Yeah.
and their consciousness was transported to a digital medium.
Yeah, but then rewritten over and over and over again.
Not
until-
rewritten. It was like a normal AI. You
Modified.
don't rewrite an AI.
Evolved, like
Within a
literally,
computer.
literally evolved.
within a computer.
But it's all the evolution
data.
happens
It doesn't
within
matter.
itself.
Yeah, essentially just save scumming a brain until it does what you want.
Save scum of
Yeah,
brain.
actually, he's right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it'll kill everything.
So
Great, they programmed a psychopath.
Yeah, well,
That's-
if,
That would be a
if you
fantastic.
can print
killer,
a soldier, put it in a battlefield, and then put a chip in the back, okay, he's done now, turn him off.
He's probably going to be a psychopath if you don't turn him off. Like, there's no going back to probably regular life for
Well,
that
that's-
person.
No,
That's what you want.
That's the whole point.
Yeah,
Yeah, you want something that's disposable and that kills.
that's when you need
No.
a safe word.
Yeah.
Banana.
Google.
Why is it always banana?
It's always
No.
banana.
No,
That is a really depressing band name. Disposable Brain.
no,
disposable banana?
You know,
No,
Oh my.
They have disposable bananas. They're called bananas.
I
They're
want
banana
to.
peels.
No, just bananas. You can throw away a banana.
Yes,
That's
but
not
it's
right.
sad.
That's not right.
I want to have like
Can make
a
pudding.
the world's. I want to make the world's greatest assassin, but his one weakness is that his brain will shut off through the safe word, and it's mercy.
How many languages does he know?
Yeah.
Very important.
Enough.
No, you just send him to a country or like some third world country. They don't speak English, so you can kill everyone.
Sad.
Until they find the
dies.
one person that just happens to know Scandinavian or something.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, to cover my question, which is funny because F you, Kyle, that was almost my question.
Really?
Like literally.
Okay.
Kind
That's
of,
interesting.
kind of
I
differently.
wonder how that.
So mine was in two parts. It was actually regarding teleportation as well. But mine was in two parts. And it kind of goes off of, remember from the Star Wars movie, how they did the light speed ship that suddenly like went and destroyed the other ship. And it was like
Yeah.
the biggest blasphemy in the series
No, it was
because
great and I loved it.
it was cool looking.
Visually cool.
It was visually cool, but the problem with it is that it's there's a lot of sci-fi where they go and show they have like this fantastical technology, but there's always a weaponized aspect that people will definitely use, and they always ignore that aspect. And then when they touch it, now suddenly that is a thing that exists, and in there now it's like, why haven't you been doing this forever?
Yeah.
I mean, before you could say that there was a reason why you didn't, but now you have. So why do you even use lasers? Just launch everything with hyperspeed. And so that was the
Right.
thing with teleportation. If off of the same concept, why in Star Trek were they not using teleportation to just murder their enemies?
One of my favorite comics has Torpedoes, which is just a bomb with a teleportation device attached to it. And that's all it is.
Yeah.
And then they, not only that, but they have swarms of them, which are just like network nodes to do their big telescopes. And then if anything comes close, they've got 1,000 torpedoes that can immediately teleport to whatever they want to kill.
Mhm.
And the
Well-
converse to that is you have teleportation denial.
Well, I'm not talking about the teleportation of like a missile. I'm talking about if you are able to select some creature or being on the surface of any planet precisely and surgically and literally atomize them, and then you just don't reconstitute them.
Yeah.
Why have they been using guns?
because
you-
they disabled
You mean the
Wi-Fi.
phasers?
Because they
Yeah, no, it's teleport denial fields.
There's
if
the-
that exists, then someone's going to come up with something that says, yeah, in this area, that whole thing does not happen, because if it does, anyone here can die instantly.
But then they would just completely shut
Yeah.
down all teleportation.
Well, they
Because
they've
nobody
done that
wants-
no,
before.
you'd restrict it to this pad in this building.
Yeah, that's
No.
why. That's the reason why this. I think in general, the Star Trek teleportation is very sci-fi.
Well-
where you would have to have some apparatus on the receiving end for that data to
Yeah.
stream to. You can't just stream data to a pocket of space and be like, this is where the stuff happens now. Like,
Well,
it doesn't work like that.
But at some point you have to do, it's a 2-part process. So the first part has to happen. If you are pulling anybody that is not from the ship to somewhere else, you're pulling them from outside the ship to it, you have to have that ability.
Hmm.
So it to me means that like, if they could make a wide beam of it, they could just like literally atomize a planet. And it's not like you don't see oxygen like collapsing in on the area that's there
Mhm.
or anything. So the planet would just cease to be. But there is a second part of that question. And does that mean, and like you had mentioned before about like, basically you are recreating another person. So is Scotty a mass murderer?
Yes.
Mhm.
And
I feel like if you were taking it like literally, then yes, he would be a mass murderer, but he'd be a mass murderer in the fact that those people who died before consented to that.
so.
But also think about, he's like the Mac Daddy of them all, because think of how many people he's creating.
So
Yeah.
oh yeah. So like
Yeah.
my
He's their
thought is
daddy.
if you know how
Yeah.
like when every time they go to like basically destroy people, they say beam me up, Scotty, right?
Hmm.
Which means the next time if some like axe murder is coming at me right before he hits me, I'm just gonna say beam me up, Scotty. I want that to be the phrase I say before I die.
Yep, Scott. Then you die in a bloody.
No, the phrase I want to say before I die is, I'm going to haunt you.
Yeah,
You wouldn't dare.
good for you. Joke's on you. I don't believe in
I'm
ghosts.
just gonna
I've
yell.
been trying to have this happen for years. Thank you.
I'm
It's
just
like,
I'm gonna yell. You'll never find the money
Yes.
what? Oh,
because now they're gonna look.
yeah, no, exactly. There'll be some point where just like he took out $50,000 in his bank account, he never put it back. You spent it all on stuff just in cash, but they're like, oh my god,
Oh yeah, it was just
there's
all
like
me.
$50,000 out there.
It was a Tesla.
I've always been pretty sure that my final words will be, no, this is impossible. I killed you. No.
Wait, who did you kill?
The person who's now killing
I
me.
killed you.
How many people have you killed? That there's a list.
It's probably going to be like a nephew or a son or something.
No, Michael, that's
how it works
Mrs. Johnson.
Mrs. Johnson?
Miss Johnson? Yeah, I think she's
no.
probably right. Yeah.
No, that's the YouTube video that Michael is stealing
Okay,
from.
I
Michael.
don't know what
Yes,
that YouTube video
yes.
is.
What? Really? So you're just making a meme reference?
I don't know. I don't know who
it's
Mrs.
from?
Johnson is.
Michael, I have a question for you. You said that it would probably be a nephew or son. How old is your nephew?
He's like 1.
Like, what did he
He'll
do?
grow up.
Did he
He's
go
going
to
to grow
put
up to
the?
murder me
He'll
one
grow
day.
up.
Did he go to put the fork in the socket and you helped him?
I mean, if I want to plan for the future, I mean, take him out while he's still small, right?
So now I'm just imagining 17 years from today, Michael is going to get an unpleasant visit from a relative.
Yeah.
Well, Michael will be in an old folks home by then.
He's going to come to the door and his nephew's going to be there like 15 years old. It says, don't eat that sandwich.
Don't eat that sandwich.
And then Michael tries, and that's when you die.
Yeah.
He kills me over the sandwich.
As you're
Wow.
choking,
That sandwich.
as you're holding your throat, you're like, no.
I killed you.
He's going to be choking me, and I'm going to be trying to bring the sandwich to his mouth at the same time.
All right. So, Michael, what was your question?
All right. I'm going back and forth because you've kind of already asked my question, but I have a second
What is the
question.
teleportation that happened recently?
No, it's
I
like,
don't know. I thought of it.
I
last
was initially thinking about the Bicentennial Man, and he's like
Yeah.
in the movie, he's slowly replacing his parts with human organ replicants to be human.
Yeah.
So my thought basically came down to what is life, and I thought about cyborgs, and I thought about like if you had a human body but with a computer brain and it's running all of the systems, is that person alive?
I
Is
mean, geez, why would
is there
you're
DNA?
really deep today?
I mean, the body is human, but the brain is cybernetic.
So to simplify that, like the androids from Blade Runner, are those people, basically?
Are they cybernetic brains with human
Yeah.
bodies?
Well, the people, the people who are made in Blade Runner are basically they're people, but they're printed people. Like
but
they're androids insofar that they were not born, they were created.
but
Yeah.
they have organic brains.
No, the idea is that an android is
Yes.
a robotic human and a cyborg is a robotic human. Or
So, like, the
humanoid.
definition
Yeah.
of being alive is being able to metabolize, so take in stuff and turn it into energy to do things, and being able to reproduce.
Yes.
So, if you can take in energy and then you can make more of yourself,
do they have a USB port?
want
USB-C probably.
It is kind
Probably.
of no. They're all standard.
They're future tech.
It's
USB-C.
they're still running through parallel.
Oh
no.
God, USB 2.0.
Well, parallel's before that. That's like the chonker, like
Oh, you mean the ribbon
the
cable?
IDE, I think it is.
God,
Because
no,
like
you don't transfer data that way. You transfer data
I'm
a
transferring.
different way.
All right, I will have a baby in 9 months because it's going to take that long.
to transfer the data.
did Robin Williams have a kid in that movie? I didn't think
he didn't have a kid because he couldn't
didn't.
reproduce
He was named
So-
a person because he died.
No,
because he chose to die.
Yes.
Yes.
but to me, that movie was probably the best movie when it comes to that asking that question.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because it didn't just say, "Do you check these boxes?" It was somebody that did everything that you could think to be a human.
Yeah.
Like, or not just be a human, but to be a living thing. And so, but it took him a long time to prove
Well,
that.
that's why I've always had the issue, and I went to college for this, that being a human and being a person are two different things. Being a human is just, do you have the Homo sapien DNA? And being a person has slowly expanded throughout history. It used to start out with, if you're in part of the tribe, you are a person. And if you're not, we don't care about you. Fuck you. We're gonna take your stuff. We're gonna hit you with a club. You're not a person.
Yes.
Then it was, are you part of our city state? If not, then you're a barbarian. So we can kill you, take your land, and maybe we can civilize you and turn you into a person.
They tried.
Yeah, and now it's almost to the point where everyone who is a human is a person.
I would say that financials are the big separator now of
Financials.
financials. Like if somebody is like homeless or is in like an immensely poor country, those that are in a well-off country will just ignore them like they're not people.
I think it'll get interesting.
I think that's very.
So do you think we're
That's
going
very
to get to a
opinionated.
point where like Robin Williams, the robot, is going to be a person and Umbop, the person who has no money, who lives in
Well,
like some
I think there was actually a movie.
Scandinavian.
There's a movie about this actually, and I will get back to you really quickly. But it was her story, or what was the one where there was the guy who was living kind of a mini
The
utopia.
female AI.
And the female
That
AI
was
was in the
her.
computer. It was her. Okay,
Yeah.
so there was a movie like that where I would agree that like as an AI that thing was a consciousness, even if it is in Blade Runner 2042, very
Yeah.
similar. But
I like to think the thought, anyways, that anyone who is a person is somebody who is sapient, capable of advanced thought. But when it comes to computers, like an AI brain, that is a hard thing to say. That's like, what is sapient?
Just
did
say
you
living,
watch
no.
2042 Blade Runner?
No, I haven't seen either of the Blade Runners.
So if you haven't watched it, you should watch it. But if you have watched it, you know that the main character has a love interest who is basically an AI. And she is programmed to feed off of his own emotions and desires and to replicate them back towards him as what a normal person would do. Like if that's the case, like if you were to have a relationship with an AI and all it's doing is just trying to please you and to help you and to comfort you, like the human brain isn't
That's dating a fangirl.
It's sure, but
It's
I mean,
waifu.
like, but it's not, because it can also be contradictory. Like there is a position between the two extremes where it hits. But like if you were to talk to an AI and it talks to you back enough that you believe it to be human, then it's a Turing test. You can
Kind
you
of.
can-
So there's
it's perception.
there's AI, and then what is it called? VI, virtual intelligence. I can't remember the second. There's two different
Soft
types.
AI and hard AI.
Well, the hard
There's that
AI
one.
sounds like a very different thing.
Oh
but
no.
because like Halo, because I've been playing Halo Infinite a bit, it actually covers that a little bit, where AI was essentially banned for quite a while, where they would do like a virtual intelligence. So it was a very smart computer that could make decisions, but it wasn't considered to be a consciousness. But then when the AI started popping up and they found that they were useful and they started allowing them, that was where it is a literal, like a living, not living, breathing, but at least by what you can think of the definition, it was something that was growing on its own, controlled itself, and was as close to a person as could be in a digital form.
So the difference between a really good phone tree and a librarian who is really helpful.
Yeah, because in essence, if it's like if you're saying a living thing needs flesh and blood, like if you just remove flesh and blood, does it still? The whole question about whether or not something is life is impossible to answer.
Well, life is, does it have cells? Personhood is the big thing.
Yeah. I think in general, if you were to characterize AIs into two buckets, there is the self-replicating AI that has a thought process that is divorced from a data bank of information. And then there is what we have right now, which is like the Alexa, which references all of the
but
data bank.
Alexa's not
access.
sapient.
Alexa,
No, I know, but I'm saying, like, if you were to take an AI that could replicate, like what I was talking about in 2142, or 2042, where 2047, where you could use a data bank of information to reference to, and instead.
but Alexa
Yeah.
isn't even that. All Alexa is you ask a question, it reads it, and then just sends that to a Google search and just reads it.
But that's data bank information. If you have an AI that can think outside of a data bank without having to reference a data bank of information, that would technically be
No,
called
we
life.
reference data banks. We have a data bank ourselves. To me, it's if you ask a question it does not know, that it knows how to handle it.
That's fair.
So like
That's
it's
fair.
that we could go on that for like an hour, because Michael has asked the literal, like, Michael, what's the question? What's the meaning of life?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
What is life? I think is
What is
basically
love?
the question.
No,
You don't hurt
Baby,
me.
you don't hurt.
no, life. I
No more.
just gave you the answer. It's being able to metabolize, replicate yourself.
Well, that's our definition of it, or that's the scientific definition.
I like his definition.
But
I mean, there's a lot of people who can't reproduce. So,
yeah,
they're still people.
well,
they're failed ends of a tree.
yeah,
biological tree.
they're mules.
Ends, yeah.
Yes. Mules aren't alive.
they're pack animals.
You don't call that living.
Oh my god.
All right, so those questions actually went on for a while, but there were actually some really good questions today. I really like those, except for Kyle stealing my question. But
of course. Yes,
so for the next part, we're going to be doing trivia again, but we're going to do a twist on it. Well, actually, it's not a twist; it's quite a big twist. And so basically, we're going to do like going to come up with a name for this, but it's basically like false trivia. So I have created some questions here that sound like trivia, but they do not have any actual answers. The idea is that the person answering the question is going to answer it in any way that they want, and whatever they state is truth. And we have to have, or they have to talk about it at least, as if it is truth, and come up with a story that is not believable, but anything they say is true. So
everyone get ready.
There is no wrong answer here.
Wait, so this is improv trivia?
It's improv trivia with no answer.
Everyone get ready to update Wikipedia.
That's what we've done the entire time anyway.
Yeah, we kind of ended up doing that. So I thought, hey, I'm just going to make up some random questions that sound like trivia, but they're not. So, so that's what we're going to try. I'm not going to do the ding here because there's no point putting you on a timer for this. Just try to be faster on it. I have a couple questions based on time. We'll see how this goes. So, John, I have my first question for you. Are you ready?
No.
All right. So your first question. In 1956, the USS Ritz was lost at sea only to be rediscovered in 2012. What did researchers determine was the cause of the disappearance?
There's actually a strange form of coral that was kind of virilized, and instead... You know how most coral has been dying off because of like ocean calcification and carbonization and whatever global warming is doing? Whatever that stuff is doing, like the hole in the ozone layer. This coral actually, since it's all microscopic creatures, actually decided to, or didn't decide, but started infecting human beings. So part of this ocean liner was some scuba diving ventures that got too close to this mutant type of coral, which actually got into the people.
Oh.
And slowly it calcified them and actually turned them into, well, not living statues, but as it got into their cells, turned them into statues. So it's this kind of ghost ship where all of the passengers were just kind of frozen in place as the individual coral cells just kind of calcified every cell in their body.
So you could say that they
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you could say that they are forever living on the Ritz.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. I mean, that's what they paid for.
You don't put anyone on the Ritz because that's a death sentence.
That's a pretty interesting story.
I like
there.
Like, so like when they initially were being overrun by the coral, was that like a Resident Evil moment, or were they just like embracing the coral?
No, it was like they were
they dancing still?
No, they were realizing that movement is getting harder and harder, and then they just stop moving. And then they see the radio, and the radio is in that guy's hand, and then prying fingers off as their movement is slowly getting shorter. They actually found like 3 guys in the radio station, 2 of which had no fingers left because you had to kind of shatter the coral or coralization of the fingers to get the radio out of the hand, and everyone died before they were able to get any sort of message out.
God, that reminds me. So
going dark.
In a tangent between what he is saying, there's the coral thing, but there's actually a movie called Splinter, which is very similar to what you're talking about right now.
So what's Splinter about?
Splinter is about an alien DNA like virus thing that turns blood into little calcified like spikes, and you can get infected by pricking yourself with it. And it takes over the host to attempt to amalgamize all of the DNA.
Is this working out like you intended?
That's bad.
Yeah, it's a really good movie. It's gross. It's a good movie.
Now just imagine that on a cruise liner.
I would watch the movie. That'd be a great movie.
Well, I didn't say it's USS Ritz. It could be a cruise liner. I mean,
it was a cruise liner.
It's
definitely a cruise liner. The USS Ritz.
I determine what the truth is now.
There was more casinos on that ship than there was personnel.
Yep.
Yeah, that the All you can eat shrimp was the only thing not changed because it's like, I ain't touching that. All right.
Sound good.
How could I beat that? Holy shit.
All right. Well, no, that's the intent, is that I was kind of hoping for like, you just keep going in stories, saying the next thought that comes into your mind. So Kyle, I have your question. You ready?
Okay.
I'm going to say you're not. So, okay. For the past decade, scientists have been sending a message into space in hopes to make contact with extraterrestrials. What is that message?
Well, I mean, they actually did have a couple of messages bounce back from deep space. They were basically gibberish, but once you did decode them using the proper algorithms, it was just gibberish. We know.
Wait, it was gibberish, but after decoding, it was gibberish.
It was a different type of gibberish. And so once the gibberish was decoded to proper English gibberish, it was.
They're speaking English?
There's
gibberish. Yes.
Gibberish English. Hey,
yeah, it was.
Have you been to Chicago?
Hey,
Space aliens are from Chicago.
Funny that you should say that, because it was actually somewhere over in like the Midwestern region where they were getting the bounce back signal from. It turned out that there was a guy who thought it'd be a really great idea to put his satellite dish on one of the highest towers in the region to see if he could get better reception. And it so happened to point it back towards the research station.
it's called the Sears Tower. I don't care.
Oh, you know,
it's somewhere over
the
there.
bean is really reflective.
Mm-hmm. But it did end up being that he did actually help scientific the entire community out, because him bouncing back that signal told them that they were facing the wrong direction because it was way too low.
Oh, they were facing at the Earth.
So what were they beaming
so-
out? Like Argo's actual question, what were they beaming out?
Well, were they beaming out?
Yeah.
Well, they were gibberish.
But we were
We were beaming out gibberish at the aliens?
Well,
Yes.
I'm thinking like, you know, if you're going to try to speak to another, is, you know, start basic. So they just recorded a baby. And just going,
Yeah. The most purest of the human form. 6 months old, trying to learn English.
or some 70-year-old man that's children haven't visited him in a while.
It's true, yeah. He
Or like the
Why would you make vague racist statements towards the outer planets?
I just like these space aliens visited me, but you haven't come to visit in 3 years. They have to travel much further.
See, when they tilted the satellites up, then they started to get a response. They're like, well, no, we're going to come in 6 months. We'll be there. We'll call you every weekend.
So your entire story,
They never did.
Your entire story was about Chicago, but then ended with, yeah, but we actually got in contact with aliens. So that's fine. At the end.
They said they wouldn't come,
Hey,
though.
you said we shouldn't question Kyle. Don't question Kyle.
I'm not questioning Kyle. I'm just questioning Kyle.
The efficacy of my statement is without question.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. But that was a pretty good story.
That's a good story, Kyle.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. It's
There.
it's not a story. That's real, not history.
Yeah, facts.
All everything to be said is fact.
All right. Well, Michael, it's your turn.
My beer's gone.
Are you ready, Michael?
Here's a
I'm
bottle.
always ready.
Okay. So, Michael, your question. Recent advances in technology have led to a breakthrough in engine design. What liquid is expected to replace gasoline over the next decade?
Oh, everything will run on farts. Like
Just a
mass-
liquid?
Ooh, liquid.
I mean,
farts.
Liquid farts.
It gets compressed.
That's
obviously.
sharks.
That's
Like a little bit. Like everybody just eats in the world to save money will consume large amounts of dairy. And they will just drink lots of milk and then have the most ridiculous, like gaseous flash farts.
There's a good business for those that are lactose intolerant.
Yeah,
So is this like a government proposal to start putting methane capture vessels in all of our homes?
well, you don't even need like a government proposal. It's going to save people money. They're just going to be like, holy crap, I can just like
Holy crap! Literally.
fuel my car.
Holy crap.
like holy crap, I can like just propel myself to work every morning with like after I eat like a bowl full of baked beans.
But Michael, if you eat that much cheese, nothing's gonna come out at all.
Well, that is a problem. You gotta call into work and be like, I'm sorry. The cheese got me backed up. I can't make it into work today because
But that's the entire office.
Wait,
if they eat nothing but cheese.
I like the idea that it's like, what's for dinner tonight? It's like, oh, it's cheese, beans, and hot sauce. Like, oh, we going to grandma's tomorrow?
Absolutely. like you got this compressed
Surprise road trip.
natural gas.
It's basically just like the olden days.
You can sell it back to the grid.
It's like before you do a marathon, you eat a bunch of pasta. Before you go on a road trip, here's
beans,
here's
and hot
craft.
sauce. Beans, hot sauce, and cabbage.
I want to
You
see
just be
Three
like-
ways.
I want to see toilets that have
Three
like
ways.
a meter on it, and like you'd go and take a crap, and then like it has a thing on there's like you made 12 cents.
Oh my god, it's like
boy.
Monsters Inc. when they're doing the scream vessels, but it's just for vessels.
I'm just thinking of an unexpected positive. You've got every car has hoses attached, so you never have a fart trapped in the car. It's all routed to the engine.
I think the biggest positive would just be an excuse to eat White Castles all the time.
Actually, no, you solved global warming.
Yeah.
Capture
Cow
all
farts.
the methane.
Capture all cow farts.
Cow farts.
Each cow has a dedicated system which you attach to them to capture their farts.
Yeah, every car would have a cow included.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah, Giz would love
Technically,
that.
the cow is just the car, but you know.
You just
Yeah.
ride the cow to work.
Yes.
Yeah, and the horn is just moose.
Oh. I want to ride a cow to work.
I kind of want this now.
No, you don't
Yeah.
ride.
You don't drive that far. I would
You
have to
could
take
ride the cow.
That'd be
No,
at
the
least
cow
a
is in the
3-hour trip.
passenger
my
seat.
Well, you
cow.
could just take a lighter behind the cow and just light it, and then that would shoot you to work.
Cow miles per hour do not equal horse miles per hour.
Moose per hour. It's still in.
Moose per hour.
Michael, if you have a cow sitting in the passenger seat, and you go into the carpool lane.
Yes.
Yes,
As a
of course you
cow,
can.
as a person. We've talked about
Wait,
this.
cows are people
What?
now?
Yes.
We didn't talk about this at all.
No.
We talked about sapiens. Cows are clearly sapient. They're good at stuff.
So
Oh
they
my
get
God.
to.
No, there are cars.
Wait, are you saying cows
Well,
should?
cows are cars?
Are you saying cows should vote?
Wait, if you put some wheels on a cow, I will. The wheels on the bus will go round and round on
It
that
will
one.
Wheels
drive
and the
that
cow
cow.
go round and round.
Moo.
The cow is going all through the town.
Oh, I don't care. It'd be
No.
fun.
So I know.
We're getting into the life question again. So I have a bunch of questions here, but I'm at least going to go 2 rounds, I think, with this one.
Okay.
I do like that answer, though.
Wait, so
farts was not the expected answer on that one.
Is there a winner?
No, there is no winner on this one.
No one wins.
Everybody wins.
John wants to win.
I haven't won yet.
Your high society bullshit won't win this time, John.
I had a horror story, and you.
No, you
Had
won.
cow farts.
So we recently
Yes.
did Jackbox, and we tried to beat John at
I
Murder
actually
Party.
killed your stream because you just couldn't.
Yeah, we
beat
couldn't
me.
beat him 4 times. We tried killing him.
It's because he has an eidetic memory and he cheats.
No, normally we can kind of beat him, but oh my god, he
No,
was
I
unbeatable.
know the answer to questions after they give me the answer.
I got
We
close
talked
the first
about
few
that.
times.
And sometimes
There's
before,
nothing.
actually, usually before they give me the answer.
Anyways, John. So your second question here, and I forgot. I have to come up with a name for this. Anyways, so
The improv trivia.
improv trivia. Yeah, that's kind of pretty good. So your next question: the term of reduce, reuse, and recycle was deemed to be missing an important part of the recycling process, and a new R word needs to be added. What is that word?
I want to say regurgitate.
Regurgitate.
Oh,
But that-
no.
No, we can go with
No,
regurgitate.
okay.
What's
recycle vomit?
so where is it in the phrase? Is it like at the beginning, or is it do we regurgitate at the front, or we regurgitate at the back, or maybe in the middle?
Oh no.
It feels so
Regurgitating out the back. This is pooping.
yeah.
Oh, hey, we can power our
It's
cars.
regurgitating.
Regurgitate.
No, regurgitating is when it's like the reverse of gurgitating. And gurgitating is when it comes in the front and goes out the back. It's going the other way for regurgitating.
Oh,
Oh, so they're taking our car's power.
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah,
They're just
farting-
stealing energy.
Farting is just gurgitating. That was you.
What was the question?
Yes, gurgitation was the method of transportation in Michael's question. Yeah, it's the how reduce, reuse, recycle, regurgitate. So that's part of the whole environmentalism because if you regurgitate, then you're consuming less calories. And it's like cows. It goes back to cows. You just start chewing the cud again. And then you're consuming less calories and
Yeah, well, I can see it like so recycle is covering like plastics and
it's
metals.
normalizing bulimia.
Regurgitate is like I want to have this sandwich again.
It was delicious the first time. Second time, not so much, but there's still some flavor there.
I am
gum.
I am kind of imagining a situation in which you're trying to move the digestive system in the reverse version, but you're just trying to fit a whole cow up there.
Well, how else do you recycle food? I mean, you're not going to share. You've got to regurgitate. It's doing it by yourself.
Well, and if the Pope came by and happened to say, like, don't eat that sandwich, you're like, give me 10 minutes.
You don't eat it the first time.
Yeah.
But the second time, he said nothing about that.
Well, you have to have a first time to have a second time.
Well, Kyle's not going to listen to the Pope, so why should the rest of us?
Yeah, I'm definitely not letting him steal my sandwich. I'm kicking him right in the shin.
I would give him the benefit of the doubt. I said that at least.
You would give the Pope the benefit of the doubt?
Why not eat the sandwich?
Would you vomit out the sandwich and offer it to the Pope?
No, it's my sandwich.
As long as you put it in, like, as mayo or something.
No, you have a Tupperware and you add some additional spices.
I mean, especially since I made that sandwich, it's mine.
Yeah, it's your baby.
It's yours. No, it's yours the first time. The second time, you should be willing to share.
You cut up a slice of tomato and put it on that sandwich. You're eating that sandwich.
That's your tomato.
Work,
right? Actually, it probably was his tomato. He grows tomatoes.
Yeah. Well, he did. Until the soap.
Until he died.
Okay, that was a longer story. So, all right, Kyle, I have a question for you now, too. I don't know how you're going to fall, but actually, this one's dairy, too. So, okay, Kyle.
All about the moose.
Yes, cows, the Pope, and bodily functions.
All right, Kyle. While cheese has always been considered a dairy product, recent research has proven that it is actually what?
Oh, it's lice. It's lice? It's tiny little microbes that are shaped like lice. They're most definitely not lice because trademark lice is not a cheese.
Wait, lice is trademark?
Small lice vibrating together to make a solid.
Kyle, where does this fit in the food pyramid?
Somewhere near protein and dairy. They're close.
Is this near dairy?
They're butting up against each other.
So we're just merging protein and dairy because apparently
you don't know what those lice were doing.
I don't.
You're making it sound like Schrodinger's lice.
Cheese.
But I mean that's okay. I guess that means that we can expand our protein because we're having plenty of that. Yeah. So how does that differentiate between the different cheeses?
Well, I mean, if you vibrate small lice at a different frequency, they make different cheeses, obviously.
So how does Parmesan and mozzarella describe the different types of lice?
Like 600 megahertz versus 45.
So are there any other animals? So these lice are animals, right? They're invertebrates, but they're still animals, right?
They are until they're cheese.
Wait, you're saying they stop being animals when we put them on the pizza?
Yes.
Is it vegan?
Is it vegan when they stop being animals?
Well, I mean, technically,
you're upsetting a lot of cheese pizza lovers right now.
Let me explain.
Once we melt these animals,
technically,
they're cheese now.
Technically, cheese is just a chain of proteins, and one small lice is many proteins put together.
I'm afraid to tell you, vegetarians, that you've been eating melted animals on your pizzas.
The pizza isn't vegetarian anymore.
You're gonna have to use whatever Little Caesars uses.
Oh shit. Yeah, so lice is cheese now. So yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Michael, what's your question?
I have no idea.
No.
I can't top that.
So you can get so much worse by I bringing up the idea of pubic cheese.
No, we're done. Move question.
As soon as you said 600 megahertz, I died. All right.
We're cutting some of that.
I can't do any
Michael, what's your question?
It doesn't matter now.
Why'd you ask Michael what his question was?
Because he can tell no lies.
Oh, yeah,
that's the premise of this.
Okay,
Michael, what's your question?
So, Michael, I have some trivia for you, and I know you know the answer.
Of course.
Okay.
Smartest man alive.
So you ready?
Uh-huh.
Ready? Okay. So in 2004, a man robbed a bank in Wichita, Kansas, using what unusual item?
Oh, he brought in like a small rubber ducky.
A rubber ducky.
A rubber ducky.
Mm.
Wow. How did he manage that?
Just the one?
He brought it in.
It made robbing lots of fun?
It did. He was like, rubber ducky in my hand, rubber ducky. Gonna kill a man, rubber ducky.
He's just shoves it in his chest cavity.
He's like, it's not my fault. It's the ducky. And he just tossed it in somebody's eye and it's just like their head exploded.
Wait, there's actual
like-
murder.
No, of course, the rubber ducky is a very powerful tool.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Rubber duckies have been known to kill tens of thousands of people every year.
Oh,
And
really?
it's true. It's
true.
It's
Okay.
well, of course it's true. I'm telling you it now.
He's
That's
not
how this
wrong.
works.
He's not wrong.
It is what it is. And like
What was the name of this man? Ernie Herbert?
Ernie
He's like,
Herbert.
it's like, I love my rubber ducky, squeak, squeak. And then 10 people dead from
Ernie, no!
he squeaks it. It squeaks at just the right frequencies to like cause the brown noise and people like shit themselves. And you can't stop a bank robber after you shat yourself. You're busy with having just shat yourself. So the rubber ducky is a powerful tool
I'm just
which
imagining.
has been used to commit many a war crime.
we all watched Free Guy. I'm imagining that.
I have
Yeah.
not- I have not
Free
seen
I
it.
have not seen it.
Wait, you haven't seen it?
No, you guys went to see it. I did not.
So
I didn't go to
Oh.
see it with
So
you.
you're-
I,
what?
I
Wait.
had to go alone.
Who did I see that with? What?
War Horse and
None
my
of you?
sister.
Yeah.
Oh, is that it?
Maybe Giz.
Gizmo went
No.
too.
Okay, so Giz
Yeah,
was
Gizmo,
there.
yeah.
Wait,
That
why
was
do
it.
we know who you went to see a movie with and you don't?
I'm drunk. It's fine.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think it's
no,
funny. You're
it's
like, you're like everybody here has seen it, but none of us went with
Literally.
you.
he almost
Go
forgot.
go watch Free Guy. It's a good movie. It's
It-
dumb.
True.
Ryan Reynolds is Ryan
True.
Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds is a gift to humanity.
He
Yeah.
is, yes.
You
Yeah.
did almost
Um,
forget that Warhorse is your best friend now.
He's like modern day Peter Sellers. He can be
So-
anyway,
Peter-
anyone, as long as it's him.
No, I
Ryan
went.
Reynolds, yeah.
I went to my a cookie party this weekend on Saturday, and around the faucet of my brother's sink was a Ryan Reynolds cardboard stand up thing, like a little small one, like probably 4 inches tall,
Why?
and because they have Mint Mobile,
oh,
and
okay.
they literally sent out a small little cardboard cutout of Ryan
Gizmo
Reynolds.
got that. He got the Christmas card.
Yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
kind of okay with that because like normally I would say like, wow, that person's being really self-centered, but I'm like, yeah, but Ryan Reynolds, I'm okay with that.
Ryan Reynolds can
Kinda
play
makes you
any
like it.
character as long as it's Ryan Reynolds.
I feel like
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds is the only man who I would let blow smoke up my ass. Make me feel better.
Sean Connery.
Literally?
No. Yes.
Literally.
Wait,
Yes.
what did you just
But
answer
that
the
would
question?
imply his lips on your ass.
No, he's at least a 4-inch distance.
No,
He's
like,
special. He's
was there-
Okay,
famous.
that's
He
going
doesn't
down.
do
Let's not go down that.
Would there be a
road.
tube or some sort of a piping?
No,
that.
no.
Kind of like
We're
a
not-
bong.
This is just a rod that's like he's blowing it.
We're not-
It's kind of like a bong.
Let's
but
not
quite.
go into
Are you the bong?
I'm gonna.
Kyle would be the bong in
You
this
guys,
scenario.
you guys are being muted. All right. So, was there any more of whatever question you had?
Yeah. What did Ernie Herbert do?
Ernie Herbert is now a war criminal
Okay.
after
Oh.
having committed this. It was
A war criminal. Where did this?
it was placed in the Geneva Convention that rubber duckies were not allowed to be used in warfare because they are.
So,
He was in the Japanese war camp.
so the UN has only like ratified,
Yeah.
I think, like 100% 2 different things, and one of them is ozone
Mhm.
protection, and the other is rubber duckies.
Rubber duckies for sure. Like
yeah, okay.
rubber duckies have been known to cause pubic cheese.
Pubic lice. But anyways,
No,
No cheese.
no, lice
becomes
cheese.
cheese.
It's the
All
same
right.
thing.
All
all
right.
the same.
All right, you're done there. Like, where's my blue button? There we go. I remember. That's the only button I remember now.
Press button
You
number
know the
7.
rest of
Number
them.
7.
I did hit. Wait,
Number 7.
Press a random button, Kyle. Oh, that's pleasant.
that was
Thank you,
really.
Kyle.
When did you tell us? Whatever.
Yeah.
No, I was wrong.
So-
number
That's
8. I
No,
wanted
no,
the magic.
No.
I
So
wanted the magic.
So
Kyle.
we have like probably about 10, 15 minutes left here. So the next section we have here is some audience questions. So either it's a Twitch sub or a patron, actually, or a Discord supporter as well. They're
You
allowed-
too could ask questions on
Yes.
The Wiz.
So
The Wiz.
Boy.
I not in a while. So, I do ask them the questions in the morning of, and I have received some questions. So I'm going to ask those questions. Though it seems like they all kind of went in like the weird meme
Wait,
approach.
how many of these are about teleportation or cows or?
We had a lot of those.
There is no teleportation.
Cubic cheese.
And so about that, like literally, like last night, I'm just laying down and I'm like trying to think of a question. And I'm like, and I kind of went down the teleportation route. So there was no trigger. It just happened when I heard you saying your question. I'm like, God damn it.
Argo, we routinely share the same brain.
Yeah,
Because
we
it happens.
we both have like out of nowhere the same day where we both want Chinese food.
I don't know.
So, anyways, for some of the questions here, the first question that I have, and this is actually because when I was asking your questions, I said that they can ask questions about life, color, science, or disco. Flutterkind asks, do you know whatever science is involved in bringing the colors in a disco to life?
You mean how does a disco ball work?
Was given the words. Interpret how you wish.
Well, it's just a shiny ball that spins.
They got fairies
But-
trapped in there.
But a disco ball only reflects white. So they're talking about the bringing the colors in a disco to life.
Well, doesn't a disco ball have multiple colors
No.
shown on it?
No, a disco ball is literally just a ball that has a bunch of mirrors on it, and you shine a bright light at it, and it reflects it all
Well,
up.
you have in a disco, you have the disco ball that just has the white line shined on it, and then you just have like kind of stars square stars showing on it.
That's not a disco ball, though.
But you can have 3 different lights so that each light is shining at a slightly different angle, so all of the different spots show up at a slightly different position.
So
So, you can have different colors just kind of polka dotting everything.
So similar as to why the
Yes.
sky is blue,
Yeah.
where the sky is
Colors.
blue because the light that refracts off of the atmosphere only refracts back within the blue
Yeah.
spectrum.
Well, it's like, why is this disco ball blue? It's because you're shining a blue light on it.
Why does this mirror have a picture of me in it? Maybe because you're standing in front of it.
I want it to be clear that I am the disco. I am Laquito Taco Bell.
Oh no.
Wait,
No, you don't know
that
the meme,
literally,
do you?
I'm so confused.
Do you not remember that
I
little trouble?
I am the disco.
No.
I am from the gates of hell.
You don't remember that one?
No, I can
That's
remember.
old.
No, I know Laquito Taco Bell. The fact that he followed it up,
Taco Bell.
but he followed it up after disco, and I'm trying to.
But he was talking Laquito Taco Bell.
I am making a reference.
Yeah.
That's the only.
Somebody
meme
will
that I
get it.
got.
I'm not picking it up. My mind is just going to Devil Knights. Just Devil Knights. Knights with the devil. Riding around.
All right,
the
just to try to
sky.
touch on a lot of these. So
Yes.
the next question
Next.
we're not going to cover because we already did. So Blurtable asked, "What is life?"
No, that was
No,
already.
we already
It's the
Pain.
ability to metabolize and reproduce.
Yeah, that's a boring answer. I like.
It's boring.
Giving
Let's-
them none
next
of-
question.
Well, the fact that none of us have reproduced, we're all dead.
600 hertz.
No, we're not. We
It's
have
six-
not yet lived.
I think.
It is 600 hertz
I think that no.
or 30.
It is
Some of us have attempted to reproduce, but it's been stopped by stuff that's not family friendly.
I think that.
So go on.
I think
Fair.
that the definition of life is any living or any creature or anything that the use of alcohol inhibits its use of any.
Yeah, if you can't get drunk, you're not alive.
Yeah, if you can't get drunk, you're not alive, and the ability to alter your experience.
Wait, the production of meth is life because if you pour alcohol in it, it stops working?
Wait, meth? Where did that come
Wait,
from?
how do you know
Yeah.
this?
We were talking about Breaking Bad for like 10 minutes before
It
this
was, yeah, it's
podcast.
true.
It's a chemical reaction. You throw alcohol into any chemical reaction that doesn't require it, you're going to screw something up. You're not going to get good meth out of that.
Yeah, touche. But the next question, and so there's a lot of these in a row, but Flutterkind also asks, what is color?
Blue.
Blue. Yeah.
Yeah,
blue.
He's right. It's
Blue.
blue.
Just blue.
Okay, I guess we have a consensus on that. So the next question here, Warhorse. Hey, everybody give
Yes.
an answer.
Come on, go ahead.
So
Your question, it's blue.
Warhorse asks, what is science? I'm
No,
gonna say
it's
blue.
the scientific method. It's testing a hypothesis, finding out if it's correct, and assuming it's correct until disproven. It's building upon an existing body of knowledge.
And also disregarding subversive topics.
I
with this
think-
subject.
I think
No,
science.
that's state-run science.
I think science is getting any 8-year degree and then just saying that everything you do is science from then on.
I'm pretty
My
sure.
degree's
You're
only
not
4
wrong.
years.
I'm pretty sure the
I
pinnacle
believe
of
it.
science is mixing baking soda and vinegar and making it into a volcano.
That is pretty cool.
I also watched Zoom as a kid.
Yeah, like that is what science is. That is all of science. Everything else is not even close.
What about making soap
Making soap is
and bombs? Is that science?
One uses
That
fertilizer.
seems like
and one
a-
doesn't.
Is Fight Club
That's
science?
Yes.
Fight Club is science for sure.
Mm.
Right. So the next question again is going on the same premise, but this is an even harder one, especially for Michael.
Okay.
All right. So we've asked what is life, what is color, what is science. But Buzz Filming Phone asks, what is love?
Baby,
Hurt
Baby,
me.
don't hurt.
Don't
Well, I know
hurt
that
me.
we've already covered that.
No
but
more.
what is
I,
love?
I actually have a definition for that. But Michael, you go
Oh
first.
God.
Like if I was to answer the
Is it
question
swipe right?
seriously?
Yeah, seriously.
Seriously.
I have a serious
Um,
answer. I want yours first.
It is caring for someone to the point that nothing that they do will ever make you want to abandon them entirely.
And my definition is changing who you are based on your relationship to that person. So, for example, if you love a child, you define yourself as a father. If you love a sports team, you define yourself as a person. So any attack on that thing is an attack on
I
you.
have a better definition. So willing to change who you are to be who they need you to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a better definition.
Like a mother's love for their child is something that no matter how shitty that child turns out to be, they will still love them.
Michael,
and
don't talk about yourself like
they-
that. You're a good
Yeah.
person, Michael.
I feel like there's subtext here where Michael's like, please don't abandon me, Mom. You love me, man.
like I feel like even if you're like the shittiest person on earth, a mother's love for a child would be
But
that child would come to that mother and be like, yeah, I just blew up like half the country and like just murder people. Can I borrow $20? And she would still lend them $20.
mother's love is a different.
No,
like
that's
no,
part
it
of
shouldn't
love.
be.
Love is
that is part of
changing
love.
who you are depending on what the thing you love is.
But mother's love is to me a force of nature. Like there is fire, there's wind, and there is mother's love.
Yeah, but I feel like anything short of that isn't love.
Well, wait.
That's my thought.
Well, yeah, that's a high bar to pass.
It is, but I think a lot of people abuse the word love.
Yeah, but it's like some people could abuse that type of love. Then
Sure, but
Michael.
Yeah,
No,
saying I love this song almost never is actually
Yes, I would do
actually
any-
loving.
I would
the
do
song.
anything for the Beatles. Like
Yeah,
I will.
No, you would not.
No,
Half of them are already dead. If Ringo walked up to your door or knocked on your door and said, "Don't eat this sandwich," you would still eat that sandwich.
Why is Ringo trying to steal my sandwich?
I mean, exactly. If,
First the Pope,
if
next
that were
Ringo.
if that were the case, if it was Ringo instead of the Pope, I would definitely eat that sandwich just to spite Ringo.
Well, actually, if Ringo popped in my door, I'd be like, "Who the fuck are you?" But
I know what he looks
wow.
like.
No,
I don't-
Ringo is. He's
well-
he's from Thomas the Tank Engine.
He's a British person who has a bad haircut.
yeah, that's every British person.
and a goatee. No, he's
What
got
was
a
just
goatee.
all of our
He's the
British
evil.
subscribers?
Ringo is the evil Beetle because he has the goatee.
No, like
he also wrote Octopus's Garden.
No,
so.
yeah.
He did.
Yes, but if somebody walks to my door, I'm not going to be like, "Oh, you're the one that wrote Octopus's Garden." No, I'm going to be like, "I'm trying to watch Netflix. Please leave."
I want to eat my sandwich
I'm trying to eat my sandwich.
and
I
watch the movie
think-
yesterday.
I think love is a harmony between two people to the extent
It is
that they could never find someone else who would
Two
find
souls,
that same
two
rhythm.
souls vibrating in tandem.
Yes.
Yeah, it is two people becoming one. To me, is the best.
Appropriately
but-
in bed.
Two souls vibrating.
So it's lust.
So
You
two
just
souls,
described lust.
two souls vibrating
Little
in
bit.
bed.
Yes.
Like, so your mom. and you.
Harmoniously, excuse
So-
me, Sean.
What have you been doing with your mom?
Wait, so Kyle,
You love your mom.
Wait, Kyle, a mother's love is
No, we're talking
souls
about a different,
vibrating in bed.
different kind of love.
Yeah.
He's trying to
So-
quickly adjust the
So,
audio.
Argo, what's the next question?
Jesus Christ, you guys are weird. Okay, so
The love between Jesus.
I'm gonna.
No, next question.
So
Between Jesus.
the next question. So Bus Filming Pone asked a question here, and so this will probably be the last one based on time here. how would you handle a situation if someone was ready to fight you only because you accidentally bumped into them?
There would be no fight.
Yeah, I would not. I would just roll my eyes at them and move on.
Well, no, they want to fight you.
Oh, no.
I mean, if they swing at me, I'll swing back. But if they just want to fight me, I'm going to roll my eyes at them and move on.
I don't think you understand. Like, when I said no fight, I meant like if they looked at me weird after I bumped them and I was going to say I'm sorry, and then said they were looking mean, I would just punch
Wait,
them out.
Kyle, if it's you and McGregor,
Why are we talking about McGregor?
You and
now?
McGregor or Hugh and McGregor?
no, the MMA guy.
No, that's when you apologize and senpai.
So if it's you and McGregor, you apologize.
No. If he's bigger and more muscly than I am, then you apologize. That's how it works.
Okay.
But if he's a bitch and then he knocks into me, it's like, what are you doing? I'm gonna punch him out before he.
So
thinks
if it's
about it.
Dwight Schrute,
Yes.
Kyle. So your reaction is, if I can take him, I'm going to take him.
Yes.
If I can't, I'm going to get on my knees.
The thing is I'm going to attempt to apologize first. But if I see that glint in his eye, he's going down.
If it was the Pope.
The Pope always
Is he
gets.
trying to steal my sandwich?
No.
I will take him out.
He gets reverence until the sandwich, and then it's debatable.
The first punch the Pope throws at you, he's going down.
He is an old man. He will be easy to destroy.
He would, although his clergymen, I've seen those cardinals, some of them wait.
No, and then you've got the Swiss guards, like with the halberds and the weird fancy hats.
It's okay because
That's
you
different,
can
though.
you can make a getaway in the Pope-mobile.
Yes.
You steal the keys out of his robes.
Wait,
The Pope
no,
doesn't
no.
carry the keys to the
Yeah.
Pope-mobile. Let's not
Wait,
real.
that is a question. Who carries the keys to the Pope-mobile?
Definitely not the
Yeah,
Pope.
if you were going to steal the Pope-mobile, who would you go after? Because it wouldn't be the Pope.
Definitely a cardinal.
Yeah.
Clergyman. Somebody who's in the clergy.
The driver of the Pope-mobile
Somebody
isn't
was-
a cardinal.
It's somebody
No.
with sunglasses.
But he's definitely part of the clergy.
Yeah, how do you find the guy who
Sunglasses.
drives the Pope-mobile?
He's
So
just-
the guy
he-
with sunglasses
Yeah.
who doesn't look like he
Yeah,
could take you
probably
out?
probably stuck up.
Somebody that during the fight is running your direction with his hand, like two fingers on the ear.
That's
No,
the
no,
F-
no,
that-
on
that-
the
that's the
ear.
FBI. It's not the Pope.
He'll
No, you don't know. They're advanced.
He'll be the only guy not
Advanced
wearing
Pope.
white and red.
Dude, Jesus is advanced. So
Yes.
What kind of club is Kyle going to where he's starting a fight with the Pope?
Basically,
One where he
the
steals
lower
sandwiches,
levels of the
clearly.
Vatican, apparently.
yes. Vatican Undercity.
The Vatican Undercity, the Pope,
the Vatican Underhive, where the Pope goes on Sunday.
where the Pope goes to rave.
I'm just imagining the Pope from that scene from Fight Club where he's just over the guy. Where have I been? Where have I been?
No, because actually the Pope was a bouncer for a number of nightclubs in Argentina. when he was younger.
50s.
Yeah, in the 50s, but I can just imagine him wanting to go back to his roots. So, like, yeah, I want some underground nightclubs where they're just
I
speaking
mean,
Portuguese
if the
in the Vatican.
If the Pope was a bouncer in the 50s, he knows his shit, and I would be scared of him.
He does, but he's really out of practice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
it's
got
true.
like
That is
fragile
true.
bones.
Yeah, he's got
He's been watching feet for 40 years.
He probably has a knife.
he's got a nasty clothesline.
Yeah,
He
that's what
does
I'm
have
scared
that
of, yeah.
big hat that he can just beat you to death with.
He'd forgive
Wait,
you.
what's in that hat? Is it
It's
bricks?
just-
Is it like a
It's solid gold.
It's like a whole pious thing where he's just like wearing a heavy hat.
No, there's a Beretta. There's a
Is there a
Beretta.
Beretta under the
Yeah,
hat?
just a,
American made?
That sounds like an anime where they pull
you
the
would probably. What's a good Italian tiny gun?
Italian gun.
Mechanic. No, mechanic's Ukrainian.
A tiny What's the gun that gives legs?
The 5.7 is definitely not
Yeah,
Italian.
with a really tiny bullets, with a
Tiny
with a
bullets?
cross carved on each of them. Going to be individually blessed.
Yeah, they've been
Is this
they're all
from
kosher.
anime?
That's
Yes.
that's basically
No,
just
kosher is Jewish.
so that's going back
Same
to
thing.
like
Yes, Catholic, Jewish, it's all the same thing.
We've rolled back into John Wick land where the Pope definitely has a gun that has
The,
cross bullets.
the Pope
on it.
is packing heat.
He definitely
Wait,
is.
how many challenge coin or how many like assassin
Wait,
coins?
wait,
does
are you seeing
Pope
That's a
have?
lot.
Are you saying the Pope is an assassin?
Yes.
The
I feel
Pope-
like
he has never been caught.
I mean, nobody's gonna like even if an assassin popped up and it was the Pope, you'd be like, I can't do nothing. And you could just take everybody out.
Yes.
What am I going to do? Kill the Pope?
I feel like we're rapidly descending into a fantasy where all the bullets are like soaked in holy water to destroy vampires.
You've seen Hot Fuzz. Do you remember that moment where the priest?
Oh yeah.
No, that's the movie you showed.
the Pope?
It's the Peter Jackson. Just
Oh.
I kick ass for the
I
Lord.
kick ass
I
for
kick
the
ass
Lord.
for the Lord.
He's just kicking
Brain something.
Yes.
It's like brain dead.
Brain
Brain
dead.
dead.
That was it.
Oh.
Like I'm just imagining
So
the movie
good.
Angels versus Demons because that movie made like Catholic clergymen look badass as all heck. Because there's like the scene where he's like
That was
in
the
the
best scene.
full
Mhm.
father's garb, jumping out of the helicopter and falling and like launch the parachute. That scene, I don't care who you are. That was badass. That was a badass clergy scene.
Anyways, we went on like 8 different tangents there.
Yes,
So
thank you, question.
that'll the audience questions we have because I think
Yay,
we just went
Pope.
just over now. Yes, yay Pope. Oh my God, we
Stay
referenced the
away from
Pope
my
a lot.
sandwich.
So Michael's last word.
Yeah, no, well,
yeah.
no, actually, so what drinks did we have?
Oh
here?
yes.
So so John brought some different beers. These were actually really
well,
good.
They are
Again,
good.
Boulevard.
Boulevard Magic.
I love them. This is coffee beer.
Magic Drip. I
Yeah.
think it's called. It was actually very good. It was sweet, but you could definitely taste the coffee in
Yeah,
it.
Michael,
He
you-
also brought Phillips peppermint schnapps because of the reference from last stream.
Well, yeah,
It is good,
Peppermint schnapps is drinking a candy cane, and it ruins your palate for anything else,
does, but it's good.
especially Michael's wine.
yeah.
So yeah, Michael brought a wine.
It was a local wine.
From my
The
hometown.
bottle is,
Yeah.
what's the bottle say? It was
yeah.
a strawberry rhubarb wine.
It was a strawberry
It was
rhubarb
from
wine from
Wine Haven.
I'm-
Wine Haven. It's the Petersons who literally, I believe, if I'm not incorrect, lived like 7 miles from my house
Yeah.
that I grew up in.
So if you're gonna buy wine, buy it from the Petersons in Minnesota.
yeah.
Yeah. So I'm
Go
not
to
a,
Wine Haven.
and
Winehaven.com.
making extra comments on that. I'm not a lush. I was drinking from the bottle because I didn't like the cup was used for other things. So
he's
I'm
lush,
not just drinking from the bottle of wine for any other reason.
Let's do this stream instead.
But then and then Kyle actually beforehand had brought some meats from Sociables. So we
Yeah,
did that.
good-
And then
good
also
meats,
this
yeah.
was just like basically ginger ale and rum, some oranges.
Yeah,
So
the star of the show has to be the
Schnapps.
bottle
Schnapps.
of
Yeah.
Phillips peppermint schnapps in a plastic Kharkov-like bottle.
It is so cheap.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's so tasty.
I mean, the liquor
It's just
inside
a
it might be like 38 cents total.
according to the Surgeon General, women should not drink alcohol beverages during pregnancy.
oh shoot!
Don't tell,
I'm sorry, Michael.
don't tell
Oh,
it to
no.
the people in Chicago.
Oh,
Think I can convince people I'm just pregnant?
Yeah, probably actually. So no,
All
it's,
right,
thanks, thanks for hanging out. This is
Yes.
episode 10. By the time actually people watch this, because we're probably recording in mid-December, it's going to be Christmas.
that's why I brought the
yes,
peppermint
it's peppermint
schnapps.
schnapps.
Yeah. So
Yes.
Merry Christmas, everybody. This is basically the last one that we're going to have for the year. So happy New Year. Happy 2021. It sucked. Hopefully
No,
2022 is
it's
better.
2020 part 2.
That's when the pterodactyls attack.
I'm just
God.
waiting for the movie Evolution to take hold in real life.
I
the one
want-
where the
I
silicon
want a
alien-
sequel
Yes.
to that. I want a sequel to Evolution.
I want a gigantic starfish butthole to.
That happened in Suicide Squad.
That also was in Suicide
It is.
Squad. You were correct.
But we've got to end this somewhere. So
Yes.
Michael,
Anyways, what is Michael's last word?
Peanut butter pantsless.
I always say last
Oh.
word, and then you go and give me like 7 words.
That was 2.
2 words.
No, peanut butter what?
Pantsless.
That's 3.
peanut
Just
butter
3
generally
words.
doesn't
No,
wear
Wait, is
pants.
peanut butter one word?
No.
Oh, wait, we
Peanut
had that
butter-
conversation.
Peanut butter is one word.
Yeah.
Peanut butter-
Pantsless has a hyphen in it.
No,
Therefore,
wait,
no,
there's
no
no hyphen.
Yes, there is.
Pants
No hyphen.
less is
Pant-
one word.
Pantless would
Yes.
probably be one word, but that's still 2 words. It's double.
Yeah.
Fine. Then pickleomelous.
You did that already.
No,
Pickleomelous?
no, he probably was very
No,
close.
no.
He did-
Pickleomelous?
Pickle
That's
something.
that's my new word I just invented.
Can you?
Wait, no, that's not what I wanted. No, that's not what-
Samadumidis.
No, that's,
We didn't have a
There we
Kentucky
go.
story yet.
There we go.
we didn't have a Kentucky story, and that's good.
Pickleopolis, Kentucky story.
Did I ever tell you a story where a horse stomped a bunch of kittens to death?
No, we're gonna stop it there.
No,
okay, we're
okay.
done. Good night, everybody.
Yeah, okay, everybody.
And